It was as a Rasta that Bob demonstrated how rooted he was in Jamaican culture. One of the basic tenets of Rastafari is the healing power of marijuana, to which Bob was notoriously devoted.
Herb. Herb is a plant. I mean, herbs are good for everything. Why these people who want to do so much good for everyone, who call themselves governments and this and that, why them say you must not use the herb? You see, we just see them just say, no, you mustn't use it because it make you rebel. Against what? Against men who won't crave, because them crave for the things like say, well, them have some material things and them want to captivate your mind and tell you, say, well, you have to work and put you on pension and him keep it all. So herb make you look for yourself, and instead of you want to work for the man, you want to be one of the man too. Not in the sense of how him is, but in the sense of why should you have to bow to these things. That means you own man. That's the first time you own yourself. You do what you want to do. Anything people want to say about you, you don't care.
It takes a revolution to make a solution.
Bob was able to show he was his own man by using his immense wealth to build his own studios at home in 56 Hope Road. This meant he could also turn his back on the local recording industry that had exploited him as a youth.
So much confusion.
Bob started Tough Gong so he could gain the reins of control over his own work, so that he could produce his own material at his own pace. If he got an inspiration in the middle of the night, he could go down to the studio and record it right on the spot, and so that he could reap the rewards of his work instead of a producer who paid him pennies.
When Bob arrived in Jamaica, within minutes, literally minutes, 56 Hope Road would be filled with people. I mean, you could hardly find a way to walk through the yard. And the crowd spilled over onto the street, down the road. Bob spent hours, especially at night, interviewing people in need. At that time, there was a lot of political violence, and a lot of women lost their fathers because of this. He became, as it were, the father of their children. He gave a lot of handouts to them. Then there were people who would be dependent on him for hot meals. Every day we had to have funds around to make sure that certain people got something to eat. Chris Blackwell once said in an interview that Bob probably took care of maybe 4,000 people. I think that's even a modest estimation. It might even have been much more than that. There's another side of him which was extremely disciplined, not only with respect to his art and craft as an artist, writer, musician, but he didn't tolerate indiscipline around him. You know, he was very, very bright, although he didn't like people to think that he was. In fact, he tried to portray a different picture, but he was extremely shrewd.
We just really try to set up certain like a machine where financially we can really help one another. Because, you know, from time to time, financial problem and people have, you know, and it causes a lot of mistrust, misbelief, propaganda, fighting, killing, through, you know, direction.
We'll be forever loving Jah.
There were different Bob Marleys. There was Bob Marley the lover, Bob Marley the family man, Bob Marley the footballer.
He was passionate about football, and anywhere he went, they would get a side together. And if there was a side there locally who wanted a match, they were right in it. So he injured the toenail And he wouldn't give it a chance to heal. And that was when they detected the melanoma, the skin cancer. And they removed the entire nail and the nail bed and everything and did a graft from his leg here over it. So there was no toenail at all there. And it healed beautifully. And if you were to say to him, did you go and have your checkups and your tests? And he would say, what you want? You want me to have cancer? He used to get very angry.
Denying the cancer didn't help it go away. It would gradually sap Bob's strength as it moved upwards from his toe. Though he was only 34, Bob's days were numbered.
Generally, his demeanor was thoughtful and serious. And I think he felt that too much joking around, people weren't going to take him seriously, and that was the last thing he wanted. And especially because he was in this tremendous leadership role, he wanted people to know that, look, this is the way we do things.
All right, there's some Rastaman who would denounce using the fruits of Babylon, so to speak, to build up any kind of organization.
The fruits of Babylon. Babylon don't have no fruits.